10 brutal reasons why people secretly hate talking to you. Let's not sugarcoat it. If conversations seem to die the second you open your mouth, that's not bad luck. That's a pattern. And here's the hardest truth of all. You might be the one causing it, without even realizing it. You think you're being friendly. You think you're relatable. But certain habits, small, unnoticed, destructive, can turn people off so fast. They'll avoid your calls, leave your texts unread, and feel secretly relieved when you walk away. The worst part, no one will ever tell you the truth. They'll just disappear. But here's the good news. These habits aren't permanent. They are learned, and that means they can be unlearned. And once you spot them, everything changes. People start to engage with you differently. You feel more heard, more respected, and finally, more connected. So let's dive in. These are the 10 brutally honest reasons why people hate talking to you, and exactly how to fix each one. 1. You make it all about you. We all want to share. It builds connection. But if every conversation somehow circles back to your life, your problems, your stories, people will start zoning out. You might think you're being open, but you're actually just taking up space. And when others feel like they're just the audience in your one-man show, they'll stop showing up. White right pointing backhand index the fix. Make it a dialogue, not a monologue. Ask questions. Show curiosity. Let others speak, and actually listen. 2. You interrupt, even when you don't mean to. Maybe you're excited. Maybe you're trying to relate. But cutting people off mid-thought sends a loud, clear message. What you're saying isn't important. Even if you mean well, it comes across as dismissive. And the more people feel dismissed around you, the less they'll bother sharing. White right pointing backhand index the fix. Let them finish. Hold your thought. Practice patience. It shows emotional intelligence, and it makes people trust you more. 3. You one-up every story. Someone tells you about their tough week, and suddenly you're talking about your worst week. They share something good. You casually mention something better. It doesn't matter if it's unintentional. It still feels like a competition. And no one wants to compete for space in a conversation. White right pointing backhand index the fix. Let their story breathe. Celebrate it. Sit with it. Not everything needs a comparison. 4. You radiate negativity. Everyone vents sometimes. That's human. But if every conversation with you turns into a complaint session, people will start to protect their peace. They'll associate your presence with emotional heaviness and slowly drift away. White right pointing backhand index the fix. Vent in doses. Share challenges, sure, but also share wins, insights, and lightness. Be someone who balances emotion, not buries others in it. 5. You always have to be right. Conversations aren't courtroom battles. But when you constantly correct, debate, or fact-check, that's exactly how they feel. What seems like being clear to you feels like being combative to everyone else. You may win the argument, but you'll lose the connection. White right pointing back and index the fix. Stop trying to prove something. Start trying to understand. That's how real respect is built. 6. You humble brag, and it shows. Dropping subtle flexes, mentioning income, connections, or how hard success is. It doesn't make you seem high value. It makes you feel out of reach. People don't want to talk to a brand. They want to talk to a person. And the second it feels like a performance, they'll disconnect. White right pointing backhand index the fix. Be real. Talk like someone who's confident enough not to need constant applause. 7. You always play the victim. Here's a harsh one, but someone has to say it. If you're always the one being mistreated, betrayed, misunderstood, people will start questioning your perspective, or worse, your honesty. It's exhausting to talk to someone who's always under attack. What starts as sympathy quickly turns into discomfort. White right pointing backhand index the fix. Take ownership. Be vulnerable. Yes, but don't make every story a spotlight for your suffering. 8. You rely on passive-aggressive jabs. Sarcasm, subtle digs, disguised criticisms. They are not clever. They are emotional landmines. And over time, they teach people to walk on eggshells around you. They won't be themselves. They'll hold back, because they never know when a joke is actually a jab. White right pointing backhand index the fix. Be clear. If something bothers you, say it directly, with respect. People can't fix what you won't honestly express. 9. You talk in circles. You don't need to speak in TED Talk bullet points. But if you're rambling, constantly repeating yourself, or veering off topic, people get lost fast. And when conversations feel like a maze with no end, they stop wanting to enter them in the first place. White right pointing backhand index the fix. Practice clarity. Know what you want to say, and say it with purpose. Your message will land harder, and people will stay with you longer. 10. You never know when to stop talking. This one might sting, but knowing when to end a conversation is just as important as knowing how to start one. When people give cues, short answers, checking the time, saying I should go, respect that. Dragging it out, restarting topics, or clinging to the moment makes them feel trapped. White right pointing backhand index the fix. Learn to close. End on a good note. Leave people wanting more, not looking for the exit. Here's the bottom line. Conversation is a skill. It's not about being the loudest, the smartest, or the most entertaining. It's about how you make people feel when they talk to you. And the best conversations, they are not the ones where you talk the most. They're the ones where the other person walks away feeling better about themselves, about the world, and about you. So if this video made you think, even just a little, like it, share it, and drop a comment telling me which of these you've noticed in yourself or others. If you're serious about becoming more socially skilled, emotionally aware, and magnetic in every interaction, subscribe, because that's what this channel is all about. Thanks for watching. And remember, the right words, said the right way, can change your entire life.